Hey, good morning, Denver Bronco fans. Matt Staffiero, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm fighting a cold myself, so it is what it is. It's going around, man. It's going around.
Yeah, I mean, last week we were bragging about the nice weather, and today you look outside and it's snowing and cold. But I have some chicken wings on the smoker right now, getting smoked up, be ready for game day. So I'm ready for those.
Hey, man, I'm hungry. Just because you got a cold don't mean you can't eat. I don't know
right.
if we're gonna have to set up some Uber Eats or something. I'll send them
Right.
over.
Yeah. So, other than that, how you doing? Busy life?
Okay, busy life, man. Working like 60 hours a week. It feels like right now, but hey, got to pay the bills. Got to keep the lights on. Got to take care of the family.
Definitely. So I know.
I mean, I'm happy about the Broncos winning, and this winning streak has got me feeling a little better. And we're gonna find out if I'll feel a little bit better. Usually we have to say this afternoon, but this is one of those rare AM games, right?
Yeah, definitely is 11 a.m. kickoff. So, which is going to be nice, I guess. Then that gives you the rest of the day to do whatever. So,
I think they already got a whole Disney Christmas extravaganza planned for me. These kids are gonna have me watching movies all day.
For today?
Yeah, after the game.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, whoa, you got to get that under control, man. You can't have them forcing
I'm outnumbered.
not watch the Bronco game.
We're outnumbered. It's 5-2 female-male ratio in my household. We outnumbered.
Well, at least there's two of you.
Well, he's only a year and a few months. He's got no voice yet.
I'm sorry. No, there's two of us here. I got my son here as well. So, but yeah, he hangs out in his living area and plays video games all day. So he'll come up, watch the Bronco game, and then right back down to watching.
Man, that was the life right there. I miss playing video games.
Yeah, he built himself a gaming computer.
Oh, okay. My brother did something similar.
Yeah, so he spends a lot of time playing games, but hey, you could be doing a lot worse things, you know?
Yeah, these days it's so easy to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, definitely is. So, all right, hey everybody out there that's watching, send us your comments, questions, anything. We like to make this an interactive show. We think it makes things go a little bit better. Also, remember to allow StreamYard to use your Facebook name. That way, when you send us a comment, we see who it is. If you don't want to allow them, just put your name in your comment somewhere, either at the beginning, the middle, or the end. I don't care where it is, as long as we know who it is. So that way we know who we're responding to. So, and then just want to let you know that this show is brought to you by Willow Seasonings and Blends, your source for award-winning sauces and seasonings. So check them out at willowseasonings.com. Use code CSC2023 and you'll get a 15% discount at checkout on products. Online only, so make sure you get over there and check that out. So, all right, Matt, this is a huge game for the Broncos. 5 weeks ago, we weren't thinking this.
No, we weren't thinking playoffs at all.
No, we weren't.
I thought you froze for a minute. You went straight stone face on me. I thought you froze for a second.
You did too. So
Hopefully, we're
You
having
will.
internet connections. We'll see.
So yeah.
But anyways, yeah. When we were looking back, before these 5 wins, pre-deadline, the mood was definitely gloomy for sure. We're talking trading everything. Does Russ
Oh
got another?
yeah.
What are we gonna do with Russ? How are we gonna get through with this? And I mean, while it's easy to get giddy and it's easy to get hyped, I just always express to proceed with caution when it comes to the Denver Broncos. We kind of go through these roller coasters.
Well, a third of your life, Matt, because you're what, 26, 27, 28 now?
Yeah,
How old are you now,
I'm
Matt?
30. I'm 29. I'll be 30 in a couple
What?
months.
Oh my goodness, gee whiz! I remember when I first met Matt. He's 26. I'm like, gee whiz, this guy's a little kid, man. He's
Yeah,
almost
it's
30
good.
years old. But almost a third of your life, you've experienced the Broncos, down in the dumps, and I
Yeah,
understand why you have the negative, pessimistic outlook that you do.
yeah,
Most of the time, it's ingrained in you. Um, I started my life as a Bronco fan in the early 70s, so went through some periods of not good, and then 77, 78, we turned it around, and we were pretty much a powerhouse until 2015-ish, and then it's sort of been downhill. So I'm on that roller coaster as well. But yeah, we were all sitting there. We were saying, gee whiz, all right, we got to lose these games. We got to get in this position to get this draft pick. Um, I've watched a lot of college football last couple weeks, especially with playoffs coming up and getting ready for the college football playoffs. And you had all your conference championships. There's only one quarterback that really impresses me that I would spend, you know, a first round pick on, and it's not Caleb Williams, it's not Drake May, and it's not JJ McCarthy.
I know who you're
And
gonna
you know
say.
who I'm talking about. And this guy has put up like Joe Burrow type numbers. So, I mean, this would be a thing for Denver to sort of look at and say, hey, if we can trade back into the latter part of the first round and grab Jaden Daniels, if he's still there, grab him and let him sit a year or two behind Russell Wilson. And let's go forward with Russ.
I'm gonna have a hot take here. That quarterback you're talking about, I'm not sure he'll go in the first round.
He may not. He may not. But if you want to take that chance and make sure you get him, trade back into the latter part of the first round and grab him. You know?
I guess we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I guess we will, but that's for another show. So I just sorta
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
got off topic right there.
That you only have one quarterback for a first round grade. I don't know. Hey, we're gonna have to have a conversation on that another day because that's wild to me. This
You
is an
know, so
incredibly strong quarterback class.
well, and it's weird because some of them just really down the stretch have not impressed me, you know, that but
Yeah.
it is what it is. We'll talk about that more later. But
What
speaking
quick
of
question, Bronco
yes,
related? Does Georgia or Alabama sneak into the CFP? Because I think they should. I think this election's happening as we speak. So
it
Grant could
is,
keep an eye on
and
that.
Grant, yeah, keep an eye on it, Graham, and if you see it, you throw it across on a ticker of who's in. Um, my prediction here, and this is here's my thought process, and then we'll get back to the Broncos really quick.
Okay, let's do it.
You got Washington in, of course. Washington has to get in. Michigan, of course, is in. Now you got 2 slots left. You got 3 teams, 4 teams really, that you could slide into them. You got Florida State. Florida State is 13-0. Never once has a undefeated Power 5 team not been included in the CFP. Is this the year they do it? You have Georgia. Georgia, who they've looked sort of shaky at times this year. Then you got Alabama and you got Texas. And then you sit there and you say, well, you got to put Alabama in because they just beat Georgia. Okay, well, if Alabama, if you're going to use that mindset, Texas beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa by 10 points. So it's not like it was just a lucky win. So it's a mess that the CFP committee has. That's why I can't wait till next year when we expand to 12 teams. It's going to make it, so much better. So But yeah, Graham, if you could keep an eye on it, and if you see anybody get in, just throw it across on the ticker. That way we can sort of let everybody out there know who's getting in and things. All right. Remember, if you're out there, send us your comments, your questions, and let's go, Matt. Let's jump into the offensive side of this thing. What do you think are some of the offensive keys that the Broncos need to follow, to be successful today?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that they have to do is stay true to who they are and what's worked. CJ Stroud and the Texans offense, just looking at their side of the game, they like to get in these shootouts. They like to get up high scoring games. They're good at passing the ball. They're good at really dominating and getting into these shootout type games. Denver's not built or equipped to do that. Every single time we've gotten into this pass, air attack type roles, we're 1-5. Denver just has to stay true to who they are, trust the short game, trust the run game, and continue to take calculated shots. If we get into this shootout mentality, this is going to be a very bad day for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get into a shootout either. However, I do think that Houston secondary can be tested, and this may be the game that you see Russ sort of have hit a breakout game and go for over 300 yards, and multiple TDs, because I just think the secondary of Houston you can stretch them down the field.
No, I mean, I agree to an extent. I think this is definitely a secondary that, I don't want to call weak, but there's definitely holes that you could exploit. Um, the big thing is, I just don't know if I trust breaking away from the mold that's worked. This version of Russell Wilson has been feasible, it's been successful. I don't want it to get back into hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball, strip sack, hold the ball, sack, hold the
Right.
ball, drive stops.
No,
This team
and I
has,
agree.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree, and I think we need to take calculated shots downfield. I'm not saying, "Hey, let's go out there and let's just, like you said, get into the shootout," but I think you might be able to see them stretch the field more than you have against other defenses.
yeah,
You
and I
still
think,
have to set up this by running the ball.
yeah,
You
it
have to
has to be.
feature Williams and McLaughlin and P. Ryan and just let them guys pound it. But now, hopefully, that offensive line, which is really gelling, and we can talk about them here in a minute, they're really gelling as a unit. If you can give Russ a little bit of time and let him do some play action and take those deep shots downfield, I think we can have some success there.
But if I mean back to, yeah, unfortunately, you might say my pessimistic view. I think you could say this team is gelling because of this. The offensive line even is not gelling because of the talent or ability they have, but because of how the simplified system has benefited them. They know that this is a run first. The time that Russ is dropping back 1, 2, 3 throw, it's completely changed the rhythm of the game, and I think that's also hidden some of their deficiencies, especially on that right side in Mike McGlinchey. We know he's not good at there. And when we talk about passing, I'm not saying that we're passing the ball downfield. I think if we're starting to get into that 35 plus attempt range, it's going to get messy. We just can't let the pass game completely dominate the numbers in terms of attempts to rushing attempts. You got to just stay true who you are. It's what keeps your rhythm going. It's what keeps it safe. It's what's consistent, and it's worked. It's ugly and it's boring in some senses, but it works. You got to stay true to that. If not, I'm not sure Denver can keep up with Houston. I'm not sure if Denver can keep up with Kansas City if they don't make it this game. And
No, and it has to be this game. I agree with you, Matt. This team is not built to get into shootouts. It's not built to let Russell Wilson sit back there in the pocket and, check out the field, progress through his reads and hit those deep shots.
yeah,
We do have to run the ball. We do have to be ugly. We have to be boring, but I don't really care what we're doing as long as we're winning football games.
yeah. And I think a key thing to keep in mind, the more boring you make it, the more chances you have down the field. Everyone's getting used to Denver being the stack the box. They're wanting to stack the box. They're wanting to shut down the screen game. That's where their focus is. Just because this team is boring now doesn't mean it can't be exciting later. Doesn't mean that they can't put up a high number of points. They just have to do it in the way that fits their style, and that's what's most important, because we're not going to see them break away and go get 40 points. But if they're able to run the ball successfully today, get a couple 3-4 big shots over the top, there's not saying this can't be a 31-24 type game.
Right. And I'm fine with us using like the shorter passing game, hitting Judy, hitting Mims, and let them guys use their speed and, make some plays afterwards, sort of like we did against Cleveland. We weren't, taking deep shots against Cleveland, and we put 29 points up against a very good Cleveland defense. So, I mean, hopefully we can, play the same style of game today, pound the ball, take some shots. I think the one thing we're really just still missing on this team is a tight end that can work the middle of the field for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I definitely think that is a deficiency that they're going to have to evaluate. I think they have someone who's capable of the talent to be that guy, but unfortunately, health is your best ability.
Well, yeah, you can't
stay healthy.
You can't help the team on the IR. So and hopefully he's back soon, and hopefully he can stay healthy. But I'm just really starting to have my doubts in
I think that door's all but closed, unfortunately.
I do too. I look for Denver to really address that position, in the offseason. So, speaking of that, Zach Ertz has been released by the Cardinals, I believe. I believe he's cleared waivers now. So,
yeah,
if you're Denver's, that's someone you look at just to help you out a little bit.
If
he's not the Zach Ertz of old.
No, but I mean, he's still a veteran leader, and he still has the ability to make some plays in the middle of the field and extend drives. No one's looking at him to try to get an 80-yard touchdown or to break open the defense, but he's going to be your consistent tried and two in the middle, convert on third and short, third and mid, whatever. That's going to be his bread and butter. I definitely think the Broncos should look, but if I'm being honest, I don't think Zach Ertz has any interest in coming to Denver.
Probably not. He probably wants to go somewhere where he's really going to have a shot of getting a ring.
I think he ends up in Baltimore.
Back in Philly.
I think he goes to Baltimore or Philly. That's really the only two options that make sense to me.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Baltimore just lost. They lost Mark Andrews. Their offense has been a little bit weird since not having the tight end they can rely on for those short distances for conversions on third down. So I think that it just makes almost too much perfect sense. And he said he wants to go to a contender. JJ Watt reported he wants to go to a contender. As nice as this win streak has been, I don't think you can consider the Denver Broncos an active contender yet.
No, I think if we were 3 weeks later in the season and we were talking about we were on an 8-game winning streak, and we did have a playoff position locked up, because honestly, I think the way Denver is playing right now, if we got into the playoffs and the way we play and the style we're playing and the way the defense is playing, I think we could, go toe-to-toe with anybody. Not saying that we would win, but I don't see us, if we were in the playoffs, I wouldn't see us getting just blown out, if that makes sense to you.
I don't know. Playoff football is different. Kansas City
it is different. It is different. And the way we're building this, I think we're building it for success in the playoffs, and that's running the ball and good defense. And that's what you need, especially when you get in these colder weather games, where you're going to have cold weather things and the possibility that, snow and things like that. That's a recipe for success in playoff football, is running the ball and playing good defense. And now I know Kansas City has sort of, flipped the script on that a little bit but they're not the Kansas City that we've seen.
See, I disagree. I mean, if we look at Kansas City, what do they do every year? It seems like they just mosey through the season like, it's whatever. And then as soon as playoff time hits, they're getting 35 points a game.
Yeah, it is true.
Just clicks. They just kind of go through the motions, and that's what makes them so dangerous, that going through the motions, while they may drop a game or two or three, they still find ways to still win by going, it feels like half effort half the time. And that's what makes Kansas City so dangerous. It's what makes Buffalo dangerous when they get to the playoffs. It's what makes Cincinnati dangerous when they get to the playoffs. They can get to that 30-plus point threshold, and I think that's where Denver would struggle is teams find a way to kick it into that next gear,
Right.
especially in the AFC. I mean, how many games were above 30 points last year in the playoffs per team? It was ridiculous.
No, and I agree. And I just think we can ride a defense like we did in 2015.
It's possible. Once you guys possible play football, anything's possible. I mean, Giants snuck in as a wild card all those years ago, and took down who was it? Was it Brady that year? I don't remember
Yeah.
off the top of my head. But yeah,
So,
yeah.
speaking of defense, our defense is playing lights out pretty much since the Miami fiasco. Everybody was ready to run VJ out of town, and this defense has just really turned it on. How does this defense keep it up, and how do we slow down this rookie phenom in CJ Stroud?
I think the big thing here is we're also worried about what this passing game can do, right? That's what you click on any Denver Bronco radio station, you click on anywhere that's talking about this game, they keep talking
Well,
about.
you better watch the run game because we're horrible at stopping the run.
This is where I'm going. So you've got all of this noise saying they're going to pass. Teams that pass against Denver have been the ones that have been rather unsuccessful. The ones that have kind of stayed closer to their run game have kept this a little bit closer. I mean, every game you could argue has been close, but it got a lot more. It was a lot scarier versus Minnesota than it was against. Buffalo was scary, but it feels like we almost gave that game away that time. But Minnesota was in control for some portions of the game. That run game was, contending drives. They killed us in time of possession by like 17 minutes. Don't let the focus on the pass game distract you from your weakness. Stay true to who you are. Make sure that you're bulking up those, that interior defensive line. While Purcell's done a lot better, Minnesota's still put up over 200 rushing yards last week. So you have to.
Well, and that's the thing here. If we allow them to run the ball, I think that's going to make CJ Stroud even more dangerous.
I have two players that need to play well. One that needs to step up. One that he's got a target on his back today.
And who's that?
The one who has the target on his back is going to be Fabian Moreau. While he's been playing phenomenally outside of Patrick Surtain, prior to hit this stretch with Denver, he has been rather inconsistent. He's going against a quarterback and some pretty good receivers in Collins and Dell. Dell is going to play today. So he's got to be ready to have his head on a swivel, make sure that he's playing fancy footwork and being where he needs to be. That's why the run game can't get started. I'm worried that this could be a Fabian Moreau exposure game.
And do you think then we maybe roll a PJ Locke over to sort of help Fabian out on that side?
I don't know. I think Justin Simmons and him will. Either way, I think that they're going to have a safety over the top. This is a team who likes to throw the ball deep. You're going to have a safety playing deep regardless. So
right.
I don't know. I don't want. That's one guy I'm just saying you have to keep an eye on. I think he's held his own. I think he can continue to hold his own. I think he's got the confidence of the coaching staff and his teammates, and I think he'll continue to do it. But that's one guy I want to keep an eye on. The guy that I need to step up, oh my goodness, is Alex Singleton. He's leading the NFL in missed tackles. He's been out of position in coverage. He's been out of position. To make a tackle. You can't lead the NFL in missed tackles. It's just unacceptable. You're the stopgap in there. Everyone was preaching what a great tackler you are, how great you are. Wrap up. Gotta wrap up.
Yeah,
you're the first line of defense, man.
Yeah, you definitely do, and especially with this run defense that has been pretty suspect the last 4 weeks or so. We really need someone like Singleton to step up and Josie Jewell to step up. Those guys need to step up.
The run defense is the biggest concern of this team right now.
That is
it's
the biggest
taken over
concern.
for offense. Offense has found what's worked for them.
Right.
And now the biggest hole we have is this run game, because if we allow teams to play the same style of football Denver plays, then it gets down to the wire, and we may not always close out those close games.
No, I agree 100%. And like you said, teams that try to pass on us, those are the teams that the games are a lot closer. If somebody goes out and just really wants to pound the rock, and run, we could be in for a long day.
Yeah, I still don't know why nobody's tried to follow the Miami game plan. I mean, they gave you the blueprint, but it seems like every team we played is like they're so focused on making their quarterback a priority that they don't follow the blueprint.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think that, yeah, if they follow that Miami game plan, I mean, it could be ugly. So, and do you do you look for Singletary to have a big game today?
No, I think it's going to be the same thing. They're going to be focused on having their quarterback be the spotlight. They're going to do what's worked for them those last few seasons. I mean, not the last few seasons, excuse me, these last few weeks. They're going to stay true to who they are, just like the Denver Broncos are going to likely stay true to who they are. It's going to be who breaks first, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works. What Denver can do to slow down this running game, and then
Yeah,
we
and by
got
break,
we have to we have to put some pressure
CJ
on
Stroud.
Stroud somehow,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and maybe get some strip sacks or something. He has a tendency to hold on to the ball a little bit as well. So
yeah,
I think we need to, take that into consideration. And one
absolutely.
of one of the tendencies Graham had shown me earlier in the week is that Houston passes the ball over 50% of their plays. So
Mhm.
I mean, and so that's gonna be their thing is to pass the ball. Hopefully they don't come out and decide they're gonna shock us and flip the script and run the ball 60% of the time, because if
No,
they
I
do,
I don't think they'll do that.
so
It's just and real quick because I said it depends who breaks first. I'm not talking who breaks first between the Broncos and Texans. I'm talking about who breaks from their identity between the Broncos offense and defense first,
okay,
because
all right,
that's going to be the key to the game there.
yeah,
But going back to your thing, they're not going to flip it that much. But I think if the run game is effective, they'll use it more to their advantage, play action pass, and that makes us vulnerable.
all right,
So it's about just wrapping up, keeping
okay,
the run game under control. Also, you can't
right.
let CJ Stroud get out and get moving either.
No, you can't. I mean, he's
Yeah.
mobile, so he can move around and he can use his legs to beat us too. All right, Matt. Earlier you said, "Hey, I got a cold,"
Yep.
but just because I have a cold doesn't mean you don't eat. And I'll tell you what, we got a guy here who is going to show us how to eat, and that's Gary Robinson with Cooking Out Loud. He's going to show us some good game day eats. So let's bring on Gary and let's get to going. Gary, good morning. How you
Good
doing? Our
good morning. How you
official
doing? Can you
this
hear me okay?
we're doing great. We can hear you great. And Gary is the CSC official Bronco game day food specialist, and he's gonna show us something amazing
And
today.
a Missouri
Gary and I
Tiger
have
fan as
already,
well as a Bronco fan, by the way. Go Tigers.
everything was good until that.
Hey, easy now.
No, I don't really have anything
Well,
against them. So Gary and I have talked about this dish a little bit, and I'm a little excited about what Gary's gonna break out
well,
here.
what I need
I'm
to
gonna
do first is give you a little bit of a history lesson. As you
Okay.
know, the game is being played. We're playing the Houston Texans today. I think
Yes.
we all know what Houston is named after.
Go ahead.
Okay, answer. Got an answer?
Sam Houston.
Exactly. General Sam Houston. Do you know he was the only elected official ever to be a governor in 2 different states? I learned this morning.
I did not know that. So
Tennessee and
Texas.
Texas, and he
Oh
was the
wow.
president of the Republic of Texas.
Oh
Little
wow.
interesting fact. But as you all know, we know the stories, we know the folklore about the Alamo, and Sam Houston was, putting together an army, and that's why they stood at the Alamo, was because Sam was, putting together his army. They were trying to give him more time, which actually that is not totally true. What had happened, Sam Houston he was trying to buy time, but what he did to delay the attack of the Alamo, if you watch the movies, there's always a couple days. The army is there. and they had not attacked the Alamo. Well, what Sam Houston is really known for is he snuck a coded memorandum over to the Mexicans declaring that they were going to attack on Monday, but they decided not to because Sam Houston faked a memorandum saying that Tuesday was going to be Taco Tuesday. It delayed the attack for 2 days and bought Sam Houston more time and the Alamo more time. Little known fact. Hence, that's how Taco Tuesday became.
Really?
Really, honestly.
That's amazing information.
And that's why we celebrate Taco Tuesday every Tuesday of the week.
The power of the internet to learn that stuff.
Exactly.
Because I know you didn't learn that in public schools.
That's also off of my cooking history website.
So awesome.
What I wanted to do today to celebrate and that very loose connection that really has nothing to do with the Houston Texans was to do some street tacos today. So what I did is I used a seasoning from Willow Seasonings, David's company, Feisty Lime, and that hasn't been on the shelves for a while, and they brought it back. This is amazing stuff, by the way. It's not really a rub. It is a total all-purpose seasoning. It is the best Mexican seasoning, all-purpose Mexican seasoning I have ever had. It's amazing. It really is. I use it for a ton of different things. So what I've done here is some street tacos, as you will see in a moment.
Oh, wow.
Now, they are a little bit different. Let me get those in front of the camera nice and high.
Oh,
these two are actually sirloin street tacos. I bought some thin sirloin steaks, mixed together Feisty Lime, a little bit of olive oil and water, and made a nice marinade out of it, added just a touch of garlic to it, and let those sirloins marinate overnight in that. And then I smoked them for about 30 minutes aside this morning to get them just nice medium done on the middle because they're so thin, and then seared them, chopped them up, and made sirloin tacos. Now, the fun thing is because this is an early game and not everybody is ready for lunch right now, especially if you're in the mountain states or the, mountain or Pacific, this little guy, scrambled eggs with Feisty Lime on it. And all of these are topped with a guacamole that also put a little bit of Feisty Lime seasoning in it and just blew it away. Salsa and cotija cheese on the top and guac in there too. So it's just a nice little mix.
Gee whiz.
So
you're making me hungry, Gary.
I know. And I've been in the back room waiting to come on, and these have been sitting in front of me for 15 minutes now. So
how have you not eaten?
Cry me a river. You've been watching these tacos for 1 minute. I've been watching them for 15.
Right. Well, I know what Gary's going to be doing as soon as he gets off here. He's going to devour those things. So,
but they're just great little snacks. It's a great game day snacks because you can just get a bunch of the little street tacos. I prefer when I'm doing street ones. I don't do corn. I like doing the little flour ones. And they just turn out great. And if you're doing a pregame, laid out like a little buffet, and you can have everybody just assemble those however they'd like them. And it's an excellent game day snack.
Those things definitely do look excellent. They look very tasty.
Do they?
Yes, they do. He'd have to do that, wouldn't he, Matt? Now Matt's wife. Matt's wife is a huge Feisty Lime fan. So, Matt, you will have to go to Cooking Out Loud to their Facebook page and their website and get this recipe that Gary will have posted.
I will be putting them out, both recipes for the scrambled egg one, the scrambled egg breakfast street taco. Those will be on Taco Tuesday. They will be out. They will release first thing in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
To celebrate Taco Tuesday.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and Matt, let your wife know we do have the Feisty Lime back in stock, so she can get herself some, and
we got to put an order.
She'll be happy again.
We're out.
She will be happy again, Matt. So
it's awesome stuff.
Yeah, Gary, go ahead and plug Cooking Out Loud a little bit and what you guys are doing over there.
Well, Cooking Out Loud, it's just cookingoutloud.com. It started as just a fun project of mine to have fun, and I love to cook, and I've cooked for a while. I used to be a sous chef at one point. And I had an idea just to post recipes out. And so I put together that site, got a lot of good reactions to it. I put it up on Facebook, and I always try to do 1 or 2 recipes a week. And I was into it for less than a year, and I ran into you, David, and your seasonings. And I think, whenever I'm on a grill, and probably half of the stuff is grilled, whenever I'm on there, I'm using one of your seasonings or rubs. I mean, gosh, feisty lime has become a staple. High elevation, another staple, and almost everything I do. And if I'm on the smoker, it's going to be sweet heat or sweet smoke. Those two are just amazing, along with an SPG high elevation. But it's been a lot of fun. It's a passion project, and now it's just become bigger and bigger. And I think Willow has, become part of that site. I never had any like aspirations of where it was going to go or some set goal. I've just let it become very, very fluid. And because of what Willow Seasonings has added to some of the recipes there, it's obviously they are kind of a partner on that site, because I don't want to use any other ones. If I'm going to be on the smoker, there's not a better game to go after.
Yeah, and we definitely do appreciate that, and appreciate the love that you show to Willow Seasoning Products, Gary. So, and we appreciate you joining us here every Sunday morning from now on. Gary will be here at 10:30, so to show us some good game day foods, except for next week. The game is on Saturday, so we will be doing a Saturday show, and Gary will be here at 10:30 as long as his schedule allows him to. So everybody just remember, next week's game got flexed to the late game Saturday, so we'll be at 6 p.m. Against the Detroit Lions. But Gary, we do appreciate you coming on here, sharing the food. It looks delicious, looks amazing. Matt will probably be running to your house in a few minutes, however, leave it on the front porch though, because Matt is sick. So just set him on the front porch so he doesn't get used.
a little to-go bag.
I know Heidi just got over an illness, so we definitely don't want her getting sick again. So
okay.
So all right, Gary. Well, thank you very much. Okay. And this is breaking news. And Gary, I know you're a college football fan too. The CFB playoff has been set. It's Michigan versus Alabama and Washington versus Texas.
They left Florida State out.
They left Florida State out.
Florida State was left out. Georgia was left out.
You've got to be kidding me.
Look, and I think the reason Florida State was left out is because they haven't looked good since Travis Jordan went down. They've won, but are they really one of the 4 best teams in the country? And that's what we're really looking for, is the 4 best teams in the country.
I don't know. I mean, prior to this loss to Alabama, what was the win straight for Georgia? 29, 20, 30, something like that?
29 straight,
I mean.
And it's not like they got blown out by Alabama either.
Yeah,
it was a close game.
God, people just want to have Alabama in there. I swear Alabama could win 7 games and they would be lobbying to be there.
Right.
They played a great game against Mercer State. I will give them that. But come on. They are I'm actually surprised Alabama's in there. I really am.
It wouldn't shock me.
Florida State. I think Florida State, Alabama, they put on the show. If it was all about theatrics, I'll tell you this. If you're going to get in by theatrics for TV ratings, they put it on yesterday. They spent it. And I bet, I think they totally spent it last night. They're spent. You saw the best they've got, and I don't think they're the overall best team. I think it's, if they would have played that game 9 times out of 10, Georgia wins.
Yeah, I think the thing that killed them is the coach. I think Nick Saban's a better coach than Kirby Smart. Nick Saban's 3-0 now against Kirby Smart.
Let Kirby and Nick do a talent show together.
Right. So
it's about the players. It's not them.
But sometimes it does come down to coaching decisions.
So do we just announce Alabama as like the national championship now, or
I hate to say this, but I think out of these 4 teams, Alabama can win it. You give Nick Saban a month to prepare for people, and he's going to beat them.
Yeah, they basically.
I can see a Texas Alabama rematch for the championship, and
it will kill me because I will clear. You know what? I will end up. It will absolutely go against every moral value I have to cheer for Texas over Alabama. That'll kind of like cheering for Al Qaeda to beat ISIS. Really.
I think the CFP was really in a predicament here, and this is why it went this way. Because Florida State was sitting there at 13-0. Okay, let's say you put in Michigan, Washington, Florida State. You throw those 3 in. Now you got 3 schools left you got to pick from. You got Texas, you got Alabama, you got Georgia. Well, you can't say we're going to put Georgia in because Alabama just beat them. Well, we're going to put Alabama in. Well, no, you can't say that because Texas has already beat Alabama. So should they have gone Michigan, Washington, Florida State, and Texas? Would that
I
have
think
been
that's
more
what it should have
appropriate?
been.
Yep,
And I
that's what
agree.
I had.
I
But
think
they had to
Florida
get the SEC in there somewhere.
That's that is 100% accurate, Matt. The SEC draws. Their fans travel well. They make a lot of money.
That was about TV ratings and gambling, and that was not about who was the best.
Right. So, all right. Well, hey, Graham, thanks for throwing that up there. Thanks for putting that up there. Gary, thanks for giving us your insights on college football. So,
thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
My Missouri Tigers are going to be playing on New Year's Day, I bet.
They probably will. So,
number 9.
Who's just ready for next year already to get rid of this 4-seed playoff thing? I can't wait.
No kidding.
Yep, I'm ready for the 12-team CFP next year. So it's going to be nice. Yep. It'll definitely eliminate a lot of this because I don't think you have the best teams in here, but with 4 teams, it was really hard for the CFP, and I sort of don't envy them in this decision that they had to make today. So. All right, Gary, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
See you next week.
Enjoy those tacos. Yeah, and we will definitely see you next week.
I'm going
All right,
to.
Everybody, remember, check out Cooking Out Loud on Tuesday. The recipes will be up there, and you can make these for your own.
And if I talk David into it, there might be a special on Feisty Lime via the internet.
We will talk about that. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
Breaking news.
All right.
That's better than the CFP, honestly.
Yeah, definitely so.
Okay.
All right.
Take care, guys. Have a good one. Go Broncos.
See you later.
All right.
We'll see you later.
All right. Here we go, Matt. We're there. It's time. It's time to throw out your predictions. What are you doing today, Matt?
I'm going to pat myself on the back. I've only been wrong twice all season so far. That's it. I predicted every win, so I'm hoping I can keep my hot streak going. In a shocker, because I'm always pessimistic, according to our friends.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Broncos today. And I'm going to take it 27-24.
Nice. All right. And then last week I picked the Browns to beat the Broncos, I'm not doing that today. Well, one, because the Browns and Broncos aren't playing, but I'm going to go with the Broncos today as well. I think we're going to pound the rock. I think our defense hopefully can control, everything. So, and I'm going to go Broncos with a 23-16 victory over them. So,
plus or minus 3 turnovers. That seems to be the magic number, 3.
Oh,
for the Broncos defense.
I'm going to say minus. I'm going to say minus. I'm going to say under. I don't think we'll go over 3.
Okay.
So maybe a push, maybe 3.
That's what I'm hoping for 3, but I think today's going to be the first game where we don't have any turnovers.
So, all right. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game today. Game starts in about 15 minutes, so make sure you catch it. Thanks a lot. See you next week.